Hi, everyone. I'm a little bit nervous, so you're going to have to be patient with me. But a lot like Steve said, I joined Total Wealth May 2021. Did this come up? Yeah, all right, cool. Um, Came on board in March 23. The first year I was with Total Wealth, I really didn't do much. I came to a couple events. Then it was more like out of sight, out of mind. When I renewed, though, after I paid my renewal fee, then I was like, hey, I got to get something out of this. So I started coming to more of the events, getting engaged, and just really growing in my investments. What I'm going to share, I have a little bit over 20 years experience in the retail field of real estate. So I'm a licensed realtor as well as a licensed loan officer. Let's see here, what else? Been doing real estate investing. I've been a landlord for a little over 10 years. And then also I've done a few flips within the last 5, 6 years or so. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Let's see here, let's get started. I'm gonna share with you guys this case study. This is a house I flipped about 2 years ago. I actually had ended up purchasing this property from a family member. I like to buy in the Waco area. I like to buy in the small metropolitan areas. A lot like Linda McKinley, who's going to speak up next, she likes to buy in Corpus Christi. What we found out is that in these smaller metropolitan areas, you will find more deals with larger spreads. So although like Houston, your Dallas, your Austin, your profit margins are not as great in the bigger metropolitan areas than they are in the smaller. So definitely a lot of room for growth there. All right, so let's get started. Nope. All right, yeah, so when I got started, with every property I do in the Waco area, so far, even when I say I'm not going to do it, I end up doing it. I always end up moving walls or adding a restroom. It's taking on big projects, but I enjoy it because I keep doing it even when I say I'm going to stop it. So I always sketch the house. And literally, if this is your first time doing a single family flip, it's very simple. You get yourself a graph paper, tape measure, ruler. You can do this. Anyone can do it. You do not have to be an architect to walk through a home. Your first time, it may take you a couple of hours, but if the house is vacant, you won't have no problems doing it, though. After I do that, I generally make a copy of it, and then I start erasing. I erase the walls, write in what I want to put there. As you can tell before the previous one, this house, it only has one restroom. The kitchen was back here. This was the dining room, living room. This is a screened-in porch here. 2-bedroom house, and this is a study because technically there's no closet there. So it's just like a library or a study or a den. But on my proposed, I did it as left the restroom there, left the 2 bedrooms, added a closet here, added a wall here, so now you're not walking through a bedroom to get to another bedroom. Pull the kitchen, bring it up here, and put my restroom back there, and then do a nice island and close in the screen porch to make it a flex room. Flex room is more of like you can use this room as a dining room, game room, office, library. You add a closet to it, now that flex room becomes a bedroom. So technically you can market it as a 3 optional 4 bedroom. During COVID, that was hot. When everybody started working at home, if you found the house that offered a flex room, and even in today's market, that is a hot selling feature, okay? I submitted those 2 floor plans and wrote a brief description to the city. That's the only thing I submitted to the city. And they sent me an invoice for $200, permits approved. Just that simple. No history in remodeling or anything like that. They didn't ask me for my license or anything like that. The city approved it. So any one of you guys can do this. It's nothing difficult. First thing I do when I get started, I always do my structural. So level the house, cut your trees back, do your exterior wood rods, put your new roof on there, make your exterior look nice. If your exterior looks nice while you're in construction, your house is going to market itself. Literally, while my workers were working on the inside, they got so bombarded with people stopping by, they just told them, hey, leave your name and number in the mailbox. The guy get it. He comes by once a week or once every 2 weeks, just leave your information in the mailbox. And literally, before I even put it on the market, I had about 20 names and numbers. So that's very something simple that you guys could do. Just do your exterior first. Your neighbors are going to stop by. They're going to ask questions. Are you renting or are you selling it? What are you selling for? I don't know yet. All right, so after that, I moved to the interior. You demo out your old kitchen. You got your rough ends going. Your mechanicals, your plumbers, your electricians, your HVAC technicians, they're going to pull the permits for that. You don't have to pull that. They're going to pull it. And everything they do, the city inspectors are going to come through. And needless to say, those guys, they will try to say, hey, can we do this without pulling permits? No, you want permits pulled. Because not only you want to walk through it, you want someone else that's going to walk through it. Not to mention, you also want your own inspector to walk through it as well. Because sometimes these city guys, they get a little laxy-daisy. They meet some of these contractors. They'll be like, yeah, okay, it's clear. But really, you want the city to come out and inspect it, and you want your own inspector to go through there as well. You can't close your walls in until after everybody has passed inspection. You want plumber to pass, you want electrician to pass, because they want a partial check. And nobody gets a partial check. Not even the electrician get a partial check until after the plumber and everybody has passed, and I can close walls. Close your walls up, tape, float, all that good stuff. Texture, I always encourage people to blow texture before putting in anything that's going to be a final product. Anything that's going to be cabinets, even if you're painting cabinets inside the house. You don't want them to go in rough in with have not blown texture, because texture is extremely messy if anyone's seen it done. During the process, yes, stuff will go wrong. You're going to argue with a couple of contractors. Good scenario here, I come to the house and I see a hole in the wall. Hey, that shouldn't even be there. But apparently the electrician thought there was just going to be one light fixture. Breakdown in communication. Most of the time, stuff go wrong is when there's a lack of communication or a lack of details in the explanations, okay? It could be either from the actual worker, the laborer, and his supervisor, or communication between myself and his supervisor and the head guy. But needless to say, now if you're working with individual subs, your electrician and your plumber are not going. Your electrician and your framer is not going to get along well, because now the framer has to come back behind the electrician, and they're not going to be happy. But continue on, push through it. Other things that will happen if you order stuff, like I like to order stuff on Amazon because I get a lot of good deals that way. Stuff will come in the mail, deliver it, and you get stuff delivered to the property. You always want to get it delivered to your house, your primary residence, then take it there to the property so you can expect it as it comes in. Here I had the box that was sealed up, and I didn't open prior to delivering it. So needless to say, all the stuff was there, and then I get to the house and I see the plumber install this fixture where I was expecting it to look more like this, but then he's put this in. I'm like, where the rest of it? But you run into that, and the plumber's like, that's all it. But needless to say, no, the good thing is I actually found the remaining parts inside the vanity in the master bath, which was really cool. So somebody put it away. All right, but you got to hang in there. You got to push through. Stuff is going to get back on track. Here you see your cabinets coming in, and then you see the finished product coming along. As stuff is wrapping up, you got to light a fire under these contractors. Sometimes they will drag out the process. Like when you see contractors go from a 4-man crew working on your property to just a 1 or 2-man crew, but you're like, hey, when y'all gonna get done? When you gonna get done? That means, hey, that contractor is moving on to another job, and they just coming over to your spot 1 or 2 times a week. So best thing for you to do, start blue taping, take pictures, send it to him, light a fire. He got to get out, because if not, he's just holding up your money. After that, contractors out, house cleaning out, make ready's done. Get your realtors in. Hey, get some professional photos taken. What I've noticed, especially since our market shifted from what we had during pandemic and what we have now, is a lot of the realtors, shall I say, have gone back, or a lot of newer realtors, Anyone that got licensed during 2021 and 2020, they haven't experienced a down market. Like we're currently starting to go through a more balanced market. So they typically just put the houses on the market. But when we was selling stuff in 2021, you was motivated. You wanted to get an abundance of people at your property. You just didn't slap it out there and let people go and look at it anytime. What I do, even I even do this with my rental properties, I will put either a coming soon or a no showings till date. And my first day for showing is always an open house. I get realtors to call me, and I even put a lockbox on there with no keys on there, because they would try and go and show the property by themselves or with just their single buyer. But you want the buyers to see your property while there's competition looking at that property also. You just don't want them to just come and go, because they're looking at it by themselves and they're taking 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and there's no rush and there's no motivated. They think they got time to make an offer on it. But if they're looking at this property and it's 10 or 15 other people looking at that property, they're a little motivated. They're a little bit more say, okay, we're going to give them what they're asking for, because guess what? Someone else is looking at this also. So you want to create that competition, more of like the old buy and supply and demand situation. Here in this situation, I listed it. 3 days later, we was under contract, got over list price. You know, and through all the headaches, it was worth it. You know, 6-figure gross on it, so not bad. But right now, like in the Waco areas and some of your Corpus Christi areas, you are in your Beaumont areas, you'll see properties where you can actually make good nets on them, okay? Just don't think, hey, you got to stay in Houston or you got to stay in the major, like Katy, Sugar Land, you know, stuff of that nature. I was just looking at some properties earlier today out in Spring and Humble. I mean, a couple of deals that was listed like at 140. Out the fix-up, they'll be worth like 2.25. So you got to be willing to drive and stretch out, okay? I get stuff for Baytown all the time. I mean, there's really some great deals out there. So if you're in the single market space, look outside of your neighborhood. Stretch your legs, okay? What's next? What I'm doing next, outside of just flipping houses and building my rental portfolio, build a rent. You know, if anyone ever looked at purchasing duplexes or fourplexes, you will see that the retail prices on these duplexes are pretty pricey, and you're basically not cash flowing. But with the right floor plan, you could build and rent and create cash flow instantly, not to mention equity. And Lucas have given me the X.